Lesson 5 of Chapter 6 is going to be applications of percents. First, we're going to find commission and sales tax amounts. Then we'll use proportions to find percents of earnings. Then we'll divide by percents to find total revenue. You're going to be using these kind of things for the rest of your life, especially sales tax. Let's say your state government has a sales tax of 6% on all items bought. That means when you pay for a $10 item, for example, you would pay that item price of $10 plus the 6% of that $10, add that together and get your total price. So if you did that, it would be 10 plus 10 times 6%, which would equal our total price. 10 times 0.06 or 6% would be 0.6. So you'd have 10 plus 0.6, and that would equal 10.6 or 10.60, so $10.60. So this would be that sales tax, that's 6% of the total amount which you have to add on to your total. Commissions work a little bit differently. Let's say you're this salesperson over here and you get to sell jackets. Sometimes your company, in order to try to get you to sell more, will give you a certain percentage of the sales, like 4% for example. So let's say they pay you $100 in a week, but they give you 4% of all your sales. So let's say you sold $1,000 worth in jackets that week. So you do $1,000 times 4%, and then add those together to get your total pay. Well, 1,000 times 4% would be 40. So $100 plus the $40 you make in commission would be $140. So you sold $1,000 in jackets, but you had to multiply that times 4% to get your commission amount, and you add that to your salary to get the total pay. Let's try this with some examples here. Julie is paid a monthly salary of $2,100 plus commissions. Last month she sold one car for $39,500, earning a 4% commission on the sale. What was her commission? Then what was her total pay for the month? So remember, we need to find the salary plus the commission, the sales times 4%, and that'll be your total pay. So we do salary, which would be $2,100, plus here's your commission, $39,500 times 4%, and then her total pay would be over here. So the commission would be $39,500 times 0.04, 1,580. So 2,100 plus 1,580. That was the first question, right? What was her commission? So we'll say commission equals 1,580. And then we add these to her salary, and that'll give us her total pay. So that would be $3,680. So we would say total pay equals 3,680. Put a dollar sign. So we found her commission by taking her sales times the 4%, added that together to get her total pay. Now a sales tax one. If the sales tax rate is 7.75%, how much tax would Michelle pay if she bought a portable DVD player for $145.80 and two DVDs for $15.99 each? Well, first we need to find the total item prices. Then we need to multiply them times the sales tax. So I see it's one DVD player and two DVDs. So we need to find the amount of two DVDs and one DVD player here. So DVDs was by $15.99 times two of those, $31.98 plus $145.80. Let's add those together. That'd be $177.78. So that's our item price. Then we need to add item price times the sales tax. The sales tax is 7.75%, so 177.78 times 7.75%, and that's going to be the total. If you have trouble multiplying times percent, you can move that decimal over twice, which would be 0.0775. Or if you have a button on your calculator to do that, that would work as well. So we'll do 177.78 times 0.0775. And that would give us 13.78 if we're going to work with money, because that's the penny spot. So 13.78. So we could say this tax was $13.78. If we wanted to find the total, we could do that. We could add this with the sales tax to find our total amount. We could do 177.78 plus our sales tax of 13.78. That would give us a total of $191.56. But all it was asking for was the sales tax, so this would be our answer. Now we need to use proportions to find percents of earnings. So for example, we have Jorge earns $36,000 yearly. Of that, he pays $12,240 for rent. What percent of Jorge's earnings goes to rent? If you remember, percents are per 100. So we could find the percent over 100 for the amount that Jorge pays, the percentage he pays. And we could put the amount he pays on top for the other proportion here. So 12,240 over 36,000. By setting up this proportion, we could solve that percent here and find out the percentage that he pays. So we could cross multiply P times 36,000, 12,240 times 100. So 36,000 P equals 12,240 times 100. Let's do that multiplication. That'd be 1,224,000. So 36,000 P equals 1,224,000. Divide both sides by 36,000. Then we can solve it. That'd be 34. So P equals 34. So we're left with 34 over 100, or 34%. And that'd be the percent of his wages that he pays for rent. Here we need to divide by percents to find total revenue. It says students wash cars to raise funds for class trips. The class made a profit of $326.60 from last Saturday's car wash, which was 92% of its revenue. How much money was the revenue for the car wash? So here, like this one, you could set up that proportion again, starting with the percent over the 100. So we'd have 92% over 100. Remember, the 92 is the amount of the profit. The 100 is the total amount. Here we have the profit of 326.6, so 326.6 over the T for total, because we don't know that one yet. And by solving this proportion, we could find out what the total amount was. So we do 92T equals 326.6 times 100. 326.6 times 100 would be 32,660. So 92T equals 32,660. Divide both sides by 92. And we get our answer. It would be $355. So the total revenue equals $355. And if we plug that in here, that's where this would go. And that would make sense. 92 over 100 is equal to 326.6 over $355. They made this much at the car wash, but only this is the amount of profit that they had.